Hi, I'm John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy with another Global Real Estate School podcast. I'm at the National Association of Realtors conference, and Nicole is a very successful real estate agent in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm going to let her tell her story for those of you who are interested in getting your real estate license on how Nicole has become a
for about a year. And after a year, I went to go work with an agent out of Livermore, California, and helped build him from a team to an agent through Keller Williams. And after that year, and within that year, actually, when I worked with him, I made a newspaper that was a community-based paper that was a marketing tool for him, where he bought out the different zip codes for the city of Livermore, which there's 2, and distribute these newspapers every single month. And it went from being a throwaway monthly mailer to a live, vivacious, community-rich newspaper that people would use for my restaurant reviews, because I am a writer on the back end. I would do restaurant reviews, I would do community events, and after I'd worked for this man for about a year, I took a week's bereavement leave after losing one of my grandparents who raised me, and he gave me the option to be an agent, or I could leave after I had built him this team. So I opted to leave. Wasn't going to make him any more money. And about a year later, an investor in Livermore sought me out through this publishing company and told me, if you can turn this throwaway paper into something that is content rich and amazing as it turned out to be, you can do some amazing stuff, and I want you to come sell for me. And in the first 8 months I worked as a listing agent for this investor, I sold over 100 deals, 100 flips in the Bay Area. I left them after about 8 months and courted another investor, which was the largest in the Bay Area. We had over a $30 million fund, and over the course of 5 years, flipped over 500 homes for them, and I would handle the entire process from acquisition of the property to the actual evicting, did the design on each property, and then turned around and sold. So it was a long tail investment for me on each listing. On average, would do about 100 to 200 deals a year. My best year ever was 186 deals in 2012. In that, I owned about 25% of the marketplace in my local market for about 5 years. And just really had an amazing experience going through every facet of this business, whether it was acquiring these properties from auction, whether it was having to evict people. And I can say that my biggest achievement in that was that I have people who I actually had to evict years ago come back to me now and want to buy through me, because I never dehumanized them. I never treated them terribly. I found ways for them to be able to get out of their home with some dignity, even though they had already lost it. So those were some of my biggest successes as an agent that were, either nominal or not.
Great. And she is a young lady and just doing phenomenal in real estate. What advice would you give for someone who's listening to this right now, who's thinking about maybe wanting to get a real estate license? What would you tell them, or what encouragement would you give them?
I would say, so when all of this was going on, I do have to give a little background. So when I was let go from the agent that I worked for in Livermore for that year after, I found out shortly that I was pregnant with my first child, or first and only child. And I started my business when she was 5 months old. My husband got laid off for a year after that. So we literally were on a shoestring budget, and we were robbing Peter to pay Paul. We almost lost our house ourselves, which we bought in 2007. So not at the bottom, but not at the height as well. So honestly, I think the thing that I can attribute my best successes to is just I put my head down and I hustled. I worked so hard. And the thing that drove me was my daughter. I didn't want her to grow up without a home that we owned ourselves, without a solid foundation. I didn't want to lose the home that we had purchased before her birth. So that was like just grit, just having that grit and sticking to your values and doing what you need to do. I think that drives people more than the concept of money. If you have something that you're passionate about, that's where I would say most of my success came from, was supporting my family, was the basis, and everything just really grew from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nicole. And if you're thinking about a career in real estate, I hope you'll listen to Nicole's words of encouragement. She is doing amazing things in San Francisco. does a lot of stuff in Hawaii as well, flies back and forth. They actually own a property in Hawaii now, which is really cool. But and remember, Nicole, if you have a referral in the San Francisco Bay Area, she can help you out as well. And I'll have her information in the show notes. Thanks again, Nicole.
Thank you for listening to the podcast for Global Real Estate School. I'm John Mayfield, the Real Estate Tech Guy. Go out and make it a great day.